Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to do a modern Indian bridal makeup look. This is the beautiful Mon. The first thing I'm going to do is prep the skin. So Mon has a little bit of breakouts at the moment. It's just a hormonal thing, so we're just going to treat that today, and it's good for me to show you how to cover blemishes. I just have a daily resurfacer by Dermalogica here, and these are one of my favorite exfoliators to use, and I'm just going to lightly go over Mon's skin. So when you're using these products, they do contain salicylic acid, so you just need to be aware if your client's using any other retin-A based products on their skin. Just check in with them and make sure. And this just gives you a really great canvas to start on. I'm gonna spritz Mon's face with the multi-active toner by Dermalogica, so just close. So this is just gonna help to regulate the sebum levels in the skin and just hydrate where we need it. And you can just press the excess in with your hands, making sure that they're always clean. For the T-zone, I'm going to be using Paula's Choice Shine Stopper. So this is a great product for anyone that's a little bit oily, and you can use it on the T-zone, and just using a brush just to apply to the center of the face. This is going to be great for anyone that has a tendency to get shiny through the day. It's just going to help regulate the skin and ensure that the skin doesn't absorb the foundation, which is what you find when you have oily skin types. And it also just creates a really beautiful canvas for our foundation. This is the Active Moist Moisturizer by Dermalogica as well. This is fantastic, again, if you have someone that doesn't like an oily product on their skin. It doesn't have any oil in it, it's an oil-free moisturizer. I actually use this product all the time, even on dry skins if you just want a really light base underneath. And then just giving the skin just a minute before we apply any foundation. And I'm just going to take the moisturizer just down Mon's neck. It's always really important to make sure that you moisturize the neck area. A little bit of my 8-hour cream on the lips. This is one of my favorite products to use on the lips. You've seen me use it quite a lot. And this just helps with any dryness. And you can really load up the lips if you feel like you need to really hydrate them. And this will go to work while we're doing the rest of our makeup. This is just some Bioderma. I'm just going to use a little bit on a cotton bud. And just close them on. I'm just going to make sure that we don't have any excess oil on the eyelids. The eyelids are actually one of the most oiliest parts of our skin. So if we're going to be doing a strong look on the eye, you want to make sure that you've really cleansed over the eyes properly. So this is a color corrector by Chanel. I love to use this if I need to color correct any skin or just brighten up the skin before I apply foundation. Just popping that onto my palette. Using a really fluffy brush, I'm just going to go underneath Mon's eyes. This will look quite bright, but it's all going to be blended into the skin. And this goes under our foundation. I'm going to do the eyes before I do the foundation, but I just want to even out the skin tone just so I can see how dark to take the eyes. I'm just going to bring your head across this way and then just look up for me. And this is really great for lifting any dark circles and just brightening the skin. It's a good secret tool to have in your kit. And then I'm doing that all through the center of the face. I'm gonna go in with a beauty blender and just press that in. And then just bring your head around. Perfect. And I'm just gonna go over the eyelids as well. So just close, that's it. Just a little bit, just on the excess, whatever's left on your brush. We're gonna use an eyeshadow base, but I just like to take off any discoloration. So on Mon, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Pro Longwear Hydrating Foundation. These are so beautiful. I'm mixing together the colors 385 and 450. And I've also got a super light one here as well. And I'm just going to look at Mon's skin and just see where I need to use each color. And this way it just allows you to really tailor make the foundation to each client. So I'm just going in with the 385 to start with, just on the center of the face. I'm going to use a tiny little bit of my darker color. This is the 385. And just to frame out the face, you'll always find that our faces are darker on the frame. And I'm just doing a really light coverage now. I will go back to the skin at the end, but I just want to balance out and even out the skin before I do the eye. I'm taking a little bit of the Chanel color corrector and just popping it over Mon's cheeks, just where she's had a couple of little breakouts and the skin is just slightly darker. And this is a really great tip to use. So you can just go over any blemishes, just turn your head. And that will just lift the skin before you put your foundation on. And then you can go back in with your foundation. And I'm using my little hourglass concealer brush to apply the foundation. And then I'm going to blend out with the Beauty Blender. Okay, so beauty blenders are your best friend. If you need to go slightly heavier with foundation, you can get a really beautiful finish and you can really press the product into the skin. And I find this is the best way to build up coverage on larger areas like the cheeks. And just by pressing over the color corrector rather than using a brush, you'll make sure that you don't remove what you've already concealed. And then for the outer framing of the face, I'm just going to go in with a slightly darker color and then blend up together. And then just turn your head that way, that's it. And don't be afraid to use 3 different shades of foundation on your client if that's what she needs. Just have the confidence to work with each shade. You also want to make sure, again, that you look at the neck and look at the arms and the chest to make sure that everything is blending in nicely. Just going under the nose Looking gorgeous already. And you can see with this foundation, it has really good coverage, but it's also not drying on the skin. We still want the skin to look nice and fresh, but you can really build up coverage where you need it and then shear it out where you want a little bit less coverage. And it seems like I'm just doing lots and lots of patting motions, but that's just the way to get the flawless base. Don't rush it, take your time. By doing all these patting motions, you'll just get that really diffused skin. You have to go out for dinner. And then just bring your head around this way, just make sure that we're happy. Okay, we're gonna move on to eyes now. So for Mon's eyes, I'm gonna be using the Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base by NARS in dark. So these are beautiful, creamy eyeshadow primers, and they're just a staple in my kit. So if you just close, and I'm just gonna make sure that the eyelid is free from oil. You can see even just a couple of seconds, you have a little bit of oil that's built up in the crease. And then this product actually really helps absorb any excess oil. And we're gonna take it all under the brow bone. And again, I'm just pressing that in. You can go right up into the corner of the eye, under the brow bone, and just make sure that everything's covered. And then just turn your head that way, that's it. Just lifting the lid to make sure that you catch all of the skin. And blending out underneath the eyebrow. So I'm gonna go underneath Mon's eyes, just with the same product. And this just preps the skin underneath. I'm gonna be using some eyeliner and some nice bright shadows on Mon, but I just wanna make sure that that skin is really prepped. So anything you put on top of these eyeshadow bases will just cling, so any pigments, or any eyeshadows. Perfect. Just gonna brush your eyebrows up. So I'm using this wine eyeliner. So this is, it's like a red really. So with traditional Indian bridal makeup, it's quite elongated and very bright and very intense. So we still want to get those beautiful bright colors. So I'm just building up the intensity on the outer corners, and I'm going to bring it into the crease a little bit as well. And these are just a really beautiful, rich jewel tone liners. And it would just give us our base for the eyeshadow. And I'm just going to go on the inside of the eye. If you just open actually and look down to that corner. So I'm just getting Mon to look to her left, just so I can stretch the eyelid out and get right into that inner corner. And I'm also going to be taking this through into the crease on the inside of the eye as well. And blending as you go. These are really beautiful, creamy liners, so you can really soften them into the skin. And I'm using a bullet brush. So the bullet brush allows me just to be really specific in where I'm placing the color and not blending it out too much. And just open, just checking that that looks perfect. And then we're going to repeat the same on the other eye now. So I'm going to be coming in to the crease. And just open for me. You can also just get your model or your client to open up so you can make sure that you're getting your placement in the correct place, and then just close. This is going to be a really fun look. These colors are perfect for Mon's beautiful skin tone. I think a lot of Indian makeup uses a lot of reds, don't they, as well, in the eyes. It can be quite intense. So these beautiful winey colors are just a little bit more modern and flattering on the skin. And then the same on the inside, just open and then look down to your right. And taking that on the inside as well, creating that halo effect. Okay, we're going to go in with our eyeshadows now. So I'm so excited to use this really cute Too Faced palette. It's called Cinnamon Bear and it actually smells like cinnamon. We're going to be using these beautiful bright colors on Mon. So I'm going to start with this color here. This is Bear Hug. So just going in, this is a really great neutral color. So I'm going to sweep this underneath Mon's brow and just up into the inner corners. I'm using the same Bear Hug underneath the eye, so just look up and I'm just going to go on the inside of the eye with this colour. I'm adding a bit of the wine liner underneath the eye as well, so just look up. Just going in between the lashes. We're going to be using some black underneath the eyes as well, but I just want to create a little bit of that pinkness coming through. Just look up. And then just softening this. And we're always taking the product in the direction of the brow bone. So everything is going to be going upwards. And just turn your head that way and just look up. So making sure that you always bring it out and up. So I'm going to use the chocolate dipped. This is the darkest color in the palette. And just loading up my fluffy bullet brush. So just turn your head to the side. I'm just gonna go underneath first, just tapping off the excess and look up. So we always want the darkest shade to be on the outer corner. And just making sure that you go over the liner and then look straight ahead. And then I'm going to be bringing it over the top of the lid and into the crease. Just using a tissue just to make sure that I don't bring it too low. Just close. And then just reinforcing the liner. So we're just going to be going on the outer corner, leaving the middle section of the eye free. And then I'm also going to go on the inside of the eye. Just back and forth, and then open. Beautiful. And then close. And back in with the same color. Just bring your head around and just look up for me. Tracing up to the end of the brow and just keeping everything nice and soft as you go. And then close, and then back over your liner into the crease. And open, gorgeous. And then I'm going to do the same on the inner eye. Again, leaving that center of the lid free from this darker color. You can wipe it through the crease slightly, but the darkest concentration needs to be on this outer corner here and this inner corner here. Gonna blend through that now just with a clean blending brush just to make sure everything is seamless. And then turn your head to the side. And then open for me. Stunning. Really brings out highlights in your eyes. Make sure that it's really intense on the outer corner, so just layering over that dark color again. And then in the inside. Just turn your head. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little bit of black on Mon's eye. This is Illuminati by MAC. No, classic name. So just look up for me. So I'm just going to tap off the excess. I'll just bring your head right around and then look up. And I'm just going right along the lash line because we just want to create a little bit more drama under the eye. You do need to protect the skin with a tissue. This brush is one of my favorites to use for smaller areas. This is my detailed smudge brush by My Kit Co. And I'm just going in the outer corners and then right in tight along the lash line. And then open again. And we still want the red to shine through underneath the eye, but we just want to create a little bit more depth at the lash line. And just look up for me. And you do need a little brush to do this with, otherwise you'll just remove everything you've just done. I'm also going to go on the inside as well. And the same on the other eye. I'll just bring your head around, just look up. Open. Okay, so just repeating the same on the other side, so just close for me. And I'm just going in on the outer corner of the eye, along the lash line. Just gonna use a fluffy brush just to make sure that it's all nice and blended. So I'm gonna use this beautiful pop of chili color here. I'm just gonna spray my brush just with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. And that just allows us to pick up a little bit more eyeshadow. And we're gonna pop this in the center of the eye. And this gives you that beautiful pop of color in the center of the eye. That does look actually gorgeous. And I'm just softening the edge with the brush as well. And we've just got that soft halo effect around your pop of color, which is what we wanted. Going back in just with my small blending brush just to soften those edges a little bit more. Little mini circles. Then I'll turn your head around and then close. So this color is really popping on Mon's skin now. Just by using the Fix Plus with any sort of shimmer colors, it really intensifies the color, and it also just helps you get more longevity out of your eyeshadows and pigments. And this is going all over the center of the lid. And just patting it on and using the same brush just to soften the edges. And then just open. Gorgeous, and close. And then I'm just using the same brush that I started with just on the outside to blend through. I'm just going to take a step back and have a look. Just open. Ooh, you're popping. And then just blend everything through. And then open. Beautiful. So before I go into the bottom lashes, I'm just going to use a little bit of black liner. So just look up for me, Mon. I'm just going to use my Mecca Max black kohl pencil, and I'm just going to intensify the outer corners and the inner corners. Just look up for me. I'm actually going to line the rim as well. Very good. It's really hard to have that. Okay, and then look up again. And then just repeat the same on the other eye. Gorgeous. And then just look straight ahead. Beautiful. So I'm going to do a little bit on the top. I'm not going to be using the normal traditional black liquid liner. I just want it to be nice and modern. So I'm just going to Use a little bit of liner on the outer corners of the eye. And then just open, just get your client to look straight ahead, and I'm just gonna just extend ever so slightly, keeping it nice and smudgy. And then just going back in with your mini shading brush, you can look straight ahead. And then I'll just lock that in. And then I'll bring your head back around this way. And then I'm just going to repeat the same on the other eye. Just on the outer corners, and just open for me. And you can get your model to look at your shoulder. It's a good way of getting them to focus on something. And then I'm just taking it out ever so slightly, and then we're going to blend and soften that. If you just look straight ahead. So just to complete the halo effect on the eye, we're going to use the eyeliner on the inner corners of the eyes only. So if you look up that way, I'm just going to, or down, is that better? Just get in there. And then the other side. Stretching the eye just a little bit, and then getting right in the inner corners, and using your brush again just to soften. So you can see how important it is to have a really small brush in your kit, just to get into those hard to reach places. And open for me, gorgeous. I'm just going to press back over the center of the eye. We don't want any eyeliner on the middle of the eye. So we get our halo, and open, beautiful. And then just look up for me. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of the same color on the bottom lash line. So this is our pop of chili color that I used on the top, and just look up. And then using my flat brush just to pop it underneath, just in the center. And then we're going to go in with some mascara. I have already curled Mon's lashes because she's a little bit sensitive with the curlers, so we got that in before. Okay, so just look down for me. Just applying mascara all the way through. Mon has amazing long lashes. They're just incredible. And I'm going to be using a strip lash on Mon. Okay, so just doing the other eye with some mascara before the lashes go on. Just roll it through. I've already cut up my lash, so I'm using the Wicked Wispy Lashes by Model Rock. This is a full strip that I've just cut into two. And I'm going to be using the black glue. And then we're going to go on the outer corners first. That's it. So I'm just going to pop this on. And these are just nice and fluttery, so they actually flutter through the center of the eye as well. Traditionally, in Indian bridal makeup, you generally get a really heavy winged eye, but I want it to be more modern, so I want the fullness to be at the center of the eye. Okay, so just lining the lash with the glue. And I always use black glue if I've done a dark liner. Lift the lid and just pop your lash on, wiggling it right up to the lash line, making sure that it's nice and tight. And you can just give it a little pinch as well. It just helps connect the natural lash with the falsie. And just open, make sure that's sitting nicely. That looks amazing. So just taking the other side, the other lash, doing the outer corner first. Make sure you've got a good grip of the lash. I find it's easier just to grip right down at the base of the lash, gives you better control. Always lift the lid, and that ensures that you get it right up snug close to the lashes. And then with the second half of the lash, we're just popping it onto the inner corner of the eye. Just by cutting the lash in half, it just makes it much easier for you to apply, and it's also so much more comfier for your bride. Mon has amazing brows, so I'm really just going to pop a little bit of product through the brow with my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pen. I'm going to give it a quick squirt just to sanitize. And then I'm just going to flick through just in the start of the brow. And just bring your head around. You really don't need to overuse product in the brow when you already have beautiful, full, dark eyebrows. Just combing through. And then we'll just repeat on the other side. And just a little bit at the top here. Stepping back and making sure that they are nice and even. Gorgeous. So I'm just reinforcing that line again, just to blend in the eyelashes. And just open, gorgeous. And I'm just colouring in just the back of the band of the eyelash as well, making sure that that's super dark. And then just open, just look up for me, making sure that your eyeliner underneath is nice and bright. So I'm polishing off the skin now, going back with my original palette of foundations. And then this is just your time to make sure that everything looks perfect. Bring your head around. Especially with oily skins, you need to just allow the foundation to absorb into the skin and sit on the skin, and then powder right at the very end, because it just, sometimes it can absorb into the skin. So you want to make sure that powdering is done last of all. And then just turn your head around. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of concealer under Mon's eye, and then we're going to set everything with powder. Using my Fenty Beauty concealers in 385 and 222. And I'm just going to go under Mon's eyes and just using a fluffy brush just to give a airbrush effect. Just look right up for me. And just softening everything as you go with your beauty blender, And then just take your head across and look up again. And any other areas that you want to really brighten around the nose and the chin, and make sure you're really happy with the skin before we go in with our powders. So to give Mon's skin a really beautiful glow, I'm going to use the Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Tan. This is by MAC, so I'm just polishing over the skin. And just turn your head around. So these Mineralized Skin Finishes by MAC are a really good secret weapon to have in your kit. They add a little bit more coverage, but they're not going to give you that really heavily powdered look that you sometimes get with powders. And I like to use a really fluffy brush, and you can really just work it into the skin and just perfect everything. And just look up for me. And I'm just going to really lightly sweep a little bit under the eye. And just to set Mon's brow, I'm going to use the Gimme Brow. This is in medium, just to give a little bit of dimension to the brows. This is actually a little bit lighter than Mon's hairs, but I love that. I feel like it gives it a really modern finish and just makes the eyebrow look a little bit more graphic and just softens the whole look. Amazing brows, Mon. Pushing them up, making sure they're super fluffy. And then just look back at the camera. Gorgeous. Okay, so I'm using my Kevin Aucoin sculpting palette. This is such a great palette to have in your kit because you really can use it on any skin tones. I'm going to do a little bit of contouring on Mon's skin using the Sculpting Deep with a little bit of medium. And then just turn your head to the side. And I'm just going to do under the cheekbone. And again, when you've got a heavy foundation on, you just want to press anything over the top on. You don't want to do too many dragging motions on the skin because you'll disturb all your beautiful work that you've already done. A little bit around the hairline. I don't want to do too much around the hairline. Keep it nice and light. And then just turn your head to the other side. Again, just pressing in under the cheekbone just to chisel out that gorgeous cheek. A little bit around there. And then I'm going to use the same palette for my blusher and bronzer. And I'm just going to use this second half of this color Venice. And this is a My Kitco brush. This is a really beautiful brush to use. I feel like it just diffuses your blush perfectly. And we're mixing the two together. And it will give you a little bit of bronzer, but it's also giving you that beautiful pop of pink on the cheek. And I'm also just going to take it around into the hairline a bit. And then just bring your cheek around. And that just ties in the eye color as well. It just brings a little bit of pink across Mon's face. And I'm going to dust it across the nose as well. Just working in layers. Just going back to my deep color, just a little bit around the frame of the face, around the hairline, and then just open. Beautiful. So I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury, this is the Glowgasm palette, and I just want a little tiny bit of this pink color, again, just to reinforce what we've just done on the cheeks, and this just gives a little bit of added drama to the cheeks, a little bit of sparkle. And then just forward. So I'm just using a little bit of my Inglot gel liner. So I'm not using this on the lash line, I'm actually just gonna paint the back of the lashes. If you just close for me, I don't know if you can see, but I just need to make sure that the root of that lash, it's actually the eyelash, is just super dark. You don't want to see any color there. So you can actually paint these before you put them on, but I'm just pressing this right on the lash, really, right onto that lash at the back, just to make sure that it's nice and dark. And I'm just using an eyeliner brush to do that. And then just turn. So I'm painting the band of the lash. Okay, so then open. Gorgeous. I'm doing bottom lashes and then we've just got lips to do. So just look up for me, Mon, and I'm just gonna catch those beautiful lashes. Mon has really gorgeous thick lashes anyway, so we're just gonna give them a little lick of mascara. For the lips, we're stepping away from the traditional red that you'd normally see with Indian bridal look, and we're gonna do a nice, beautiful nude lip. This is the Pat McGrath lip liner in Supernatural. So I'm just gonna line Mon's lips. And this is a beautiful nudie color. And you can really have some fun with these nudes. I feel like when you've done a really bright eye, it's so much more flattering to have a nude lip. And I'm just overlining just slightly. And this also just brightens the lip as well. And you'll see me use a lot of these liners. I just love them in all shades. They're so creamy, they last all day, and they're so easy to use. They don't drag the skin. And just bringing it down a little bit in the middle of the lip and then all the way across, and then we're gonna line, as I always do, the whole lip. Just really lightly press your lips together. Perfect. And then for the lipstick, we're gonna use a Stay All Day liquid lipstick by Stila. This is in the color Dulce. I've already got it on my palette here, so I'm just gonna go in with a lip brush. This is actually an art brush that I just picked up at an art store. So I love to use these sometimes for lips. So this lipstick's gonna give us our longevity. And I'm just gonna go over the top of this with a tiny bit of gloss, and that'll just make sure that it's super modern. So I'm finishing off this beautiful look with my Fenty Gloss Bomb. I've used this color on quite a lot of people. It's such a good universal color to have in your kit. This is in the color Fenty Glow, and that's just softening that lip just a bit. Okay, just look straight ahead. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna take these little clips off, and wow, you just look amazing. Your eyes are really popping. So there you have it. Mon looks gorgeous. This is a modern twist on a classic bridal look.